This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope.
So, do you guys know anyone who struggles with what you think is attention seeking behavior? Like, they be doing the most, or you feel like that they be doing the most. They real dramatic, they real extra. Or maybe it's you. Maybe it's you where everybody is constantly saying to you that you're super dramatic, that you always need validation. Why are you so needy? Why are you always fishing for a compliment? Constantly needing reassurance. Any of these things tweaking in those potential feelings for you?
So, if that feels like you or someone you know, today we're going to talk a little bit about what is attention seeking. Is that the same thing as just connecting to people and, wanting to be close to people? What does this have to do with attachment at all, if you're into attachment, and like how to actually apply this to your life?
Yeah.
So, let's get into it.
So I feel like that a lot of times we hear people talk about attention seeking. And I normally hear it, I would say in society, it's like a way to like dismiss someone or like to like criticize them when someone's like doing some sort of behavior, even if it's like a big behavior. I've even seen this in like suicide type situations. So like they ain't really suicidal. They're just like attention seeking.
Whew.
She's not really mad. She wants some attention. Like
And even
child is on, especially with kids. Child, teen, whoever is crying, climbing out the window, like breaking stuff, and she's want attention. She's seeking attention. We see this in relationships. Your partner is in there crying, asking you like multiple times, "Do you love me? Do you care about me? Why haven't you called me back? Is this really your real phone number?" And what do
you love me like you say you
yes.
do.
And what is the response? Want some attention?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, yes, it's like kids. It's definitely a parents and kids thing. It's definitely like a couples thing and a partnership thing.
It's a
But
friendship
also,
thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like also in
It's an
like day to
employee
day
thing. Yeah.
life. Oh my gosh, and I think maybe the overarching feeling that we get, or me, I will speak for myself, and also what I hear from a lot of people is like being annoyed with those people.
Yeah.
Of just like, ugh, they're so annoying. I don't like being around them. Like all of this dread and emotions about those people. And I think that's also where the friction comes from too. Cause like, I don't know, it can feel like a drain on your energy.
Yeah, but here's what I think is one of the also issues too that even happens in our field. I'm gonna be honest, is
I was
that
gonna say that.
people dismiss it. They dismiss the behaviors because they say that the person just wants attention, and therefore I'm not going to give you what it is that you're seeking from me. You want attention, I'm not going to give it to you. And then the hard part about that is that most times the behavior and the feeling does not go away. Every behavior is attached to some kind of communication need or like behavioral or feeling need. So if I say that my child is acting out because they want attention, so I'm going to send them to their room. 1 + 1 don't equal 2.
Why wouldn't that work though? I feel like that's what our parents did with us, right?
Yeah.
You're doing too much. Go to your room. You're doing too much. Go.
Yeah.
Away.
So, but if I'm seeking attention, I'm seeking validation, I'm seeking love, I'm seeking connection, you're going to remove the thing from me, which is normally just going to like make the behavior bigger.
But I think the problem is that people don't receive those behaviors that way.
Yeah.
They don't understand them that way. It doesn't make sense, right? The person who is trying to, like the little person who's trying to do the most and is like not listening and trying to get your attention, perhaps by not listening, it's not seen as that, right? They just a bad kid. They just disrespectful. They just don't listen. Or like the annoying coworker who's always up in everybody's face and, hey, what are you doing? Do you think I did a good job on that presentation today, right? It's like they don't receive it as, oh, they need something. They perceive it as like something's wrong with you.
Yes. And
or we need to change this.
And we normally tend to push back in the opposite way.
Or punish or isolate.
I mean, and we're not saying that we don't get it. People can be annoying with these behaviors. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, sometimes people do feel dramatic or do feel extra and all the things. And sometimes we don't always have the tools to deal with it. So in those moments, we're just like, I don't want to do this.
Or the energy. Because again, connection really, it requires something from you.
Yeah.
It's not like a lazy process. It's not a process to where you can like give half of yourself. If you're truly connected to somebody.
It's intentional.
We're supposed to be in sync. We're supposed to be active listening, as the people love to say. Like, people don't realize active listening requires energy and skill. It's as if we do things when we go to work. You know what I'm saying? When we work, it's as if we do things. It's not sidetracked. It's not split attention. It's not any of that. And so perhaps what we're also saying is seeing people for like what they are and what they really want requires something more.
Yeah.
It's easier just to dismiss folks, and it's easier just to be like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but so here's the hard point though, is that we are all wired for connection. We all want connection. That does not make you needy. That does not automatically make you codependent because you want connection. We all want connection, but we don't all know how to go about getting the connection. So we go about getting it in the ways that we know how, which in a lot of times is not direct communication or directly saying with my words, hey, you haven't called me and I need reassurance. It's, I'm going to blow up your phone 55 times. I'm going to tell you you ain't nothing. Your mom ain't nothing. You're getting like, I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to call your job. I'm
picturing this person in my mind.
I'm going to call your job and like, let all them know that you showing out. Like, I'm going to call all your friends. But the underlying feeling is, I just want you to reassure me that we're okay.
That was the need, right? From the very beginning.
But I don't know how to say that.
Exactly. Because I don't have the words, I don't have the language, it's not something I'm skilled in, or that feels too vulnerable, like all of the things in there. And then we get to the other stuff that eventually is going to get them what they feel like they need and they want. Right? The way that they feel like they need to get it as well, too.
Or sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure. But for some reason, right, like the way the wires are connected and like we talk about for kids, that bad attention is attention, right? It is that connection thing that like for some people it doesn't matter. As long as you're looking in my direction, I'm going to be able to get what I need.
Yeah. But I feel like that, like, even like me and you had this talk the other day sometimes with us with like our own internal dialogue, that it does not tell us, oh, I need to figure out something new to do. It says, no, I need to go harder.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So if
double down.
Yes. So if last time I only called your phone 2 times and you didn't answer, oh, now this time I'm calling your mama. Next time I'm calling your mama and your job.
Yeah.
Time after that, I'm going to call your mama, your job, and all your homeboys. I'm going to go bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And that's going to be police. And they're going to show up at your house because I made something up about you, but then now you have to call me. You ain't got no choice to ignore me.
Yes. Because I'm seeking. And then sometimes the hard part is that, like you said, when we do get the connection, it's not quite what we want, but it's something. So you finally answered the phone, and I'm like, I knew he loved me.
Even though you kind of like made it to the last straw with that person, and perhaps they're calling and they're cussing you out at full volume, they're still looking your direction.
Yes.
You're still, like, some part of you is getting what it think it needs, right?
Which, I mean, I think that sometimes, too, the other part of that could be a little, I don't know. But the other part of that are individuals who feel like if you didn't do all that, you ain't checking for me either. I'm also seeking connection, and my connection needs that much to feel
it needs that bigness around it, right? It needs to be maybe dysfunctional. It needs to be loud. It needs to be all of these things of just like if she really didn't like check your phone while you was asleep, or show up and pop up where you was at, and without you knowing, like, does she really care about you, or she too chill?
I think that's also a level of like reassurance. I need this level of reassurance, and I need it to be tested for me to be able to feel like that it's there, and in order for us to feel that. So we talk about this in ways like that, but even in like some of the other ways that you guys may also recognize too. What are people who like overshare? You ever seen those?
Have I seen them? Oh, is it me or have I?
It's me
I was
sometimes.
just like, why didn't I just say my whole life story just then to a person I didn't know? Interesting.
Yeah. Or like that feeling of like when I'm around like my friends or people that I care about, I want to share my whole life because I love you and I want you to love me too. And then my husband's like, "How did you guys have dinner for 4 hours?" And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
That's just how it happened.
And it happens every night. We could do it all over again because
Exactly.
there's so many stories to tell.
I don't get it. So that also, but that's a good point. That could be a person you perceive talks too much.
Yes.
And I don't.
Or sometimes I think it, like you said, it does happen in like random places. Have you ever been in the grocery store and someone tells you their life story and you're just like, why did I just hear about this whole woman's life story while I'm in the grocery? I was literally telling Jasmine the other day, I was on the treadmill and a man came up to me while I was on the treadmill. I have a hard time functioning in that space of being able to like do my workout and also, and he's
walk and talk.
Yeah, and he's telling me all about like being chased down by the FBI and all these things, and I'm just like, oh.
I was just asking for a towel. So.
Yeah, I actually didn't ask for anything, but it's the moments like that of like sometimes that we are seeking connection,
Absolutely,
and it comes across to other people as too much.
It's a whole thing. We're gonna have to go into that, but that's a really good example. Oversharing. Maybe those people that talk too much. That when you finally get their attention, they're like, "Don't ever leave me, please stay."
Yes.
And you've stayed for 3 hours, and they were like, "But we could just do 3 more." And maybe those people that have that feeling that if they could be like inside of your skin,
Yes,
perhaps that there's something
and then even
going
then, it
on
doesn't
there.
feel close enough.
Yes. And even
Yes.
then, even then.
Yeah.
Um.
So we talk about oversharing. We talk about acting out, the constant reassurance seeking.
Yes.
That's
Needing for validation.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yes.
Is this good enough? Am I good enough? So let me tell you, on the internet, they do this a lot. Of like, it's mostly like guys making fun of women who are just like, babe, if I was a frog and we lived in a swamp, would you still love me? Like those kinds of things.
I do that sometimes.
Absolutely.
I do it sometimes to be annoying. So
there's a function.
Yes.
Function.
But
which
I do
even
think
that is connection seeking too, right?
Yes.
Like for me, sometimes I'm being annoyed because what I really want is connection, and I want to get on your nerves.
But I do find that there are a lot of people who get upset with those things when they ask.
And it turns into a fight.
Yes,
Absolutely.
They ask the person a question that does not even make sense. Like, yes, if I was a frog, would you want to be with me? And they're like, no. And they're like, so you don't love me then?
Exactly.
And it's like, no, but you should love me in all forms and all the ways that I look and everything. So you should love me like this.
Right, and it turns into this thing because what are they really asking for? Like they're not actually saying, soon we're gonna be frogs.
Yes.
And soon it's gonna look like this. Are you still gonna be down for me?
Yes, I want to know, are you always going to love me? And then I'm scared of a time when you might not. And it's almost like the preparation. I'm trying to prepare myself or fix this thing in advance so I don't have to feel this. But then guess what? I'm gonna figure out something else when I ask you tomorrow. If I was a flower, would you pluck me or let me keep growing?
Yeah. And I think it's kind of like this. Like, I'm a visual person and I need to visualize. So people who struggle with like this kind of attachment, a lot of times it's anxious attachment. It's like some people who have like healthy attachment, they know that the hand is always connected to them. They don't have to always feel for it and be like, is it still there? Is it still happening?
That's
right? Like the hand, absolutely. So the hand is always attached so that they can go and do all these things and they can remember that the hand is attached. But for people who have anxious attachment, even though the hand is attached, even though they see the hand attached to them, they're going to always feeling for it. Is it still there? Oh, are you sure it's still there? I know it's still there. I know it's still holding on. But like, are you still sure? Right? Like there is this disconnect between you could be physically here in my space. We could live together. We could be married. We could have 7 children. We can decide we ain't going nowhere for the rest of our life and we double down. And there's still something inside of you that's like, yeah, but are you sure?
Yeah.
You still could leave at any time.
Yeah.
Or you still don't feel close enough to me. I'm scared,
But let's discuss how attachment
like
kind of
that,
works.
ninja? Okay.
I did. It's my attention seeking and my connection. And guys that has soft hands. Okay.
So dang. I put lotion on today.
But let's break down a little short synopsis. I mean, attachment is a really big thing,
Absolutely.
but breaking down how this works. Most times, your attachment connection, it does come from other situations, but it mainly comes from your first couple years of childhood and how you
That's
were.
to say you don't get to choose it. It's not a choice. People
Yes.
don't come out the womb being like, I want that attachment style. Give it
Yes.
to me.
I mean, I think that we actually do, but we don't always get it.
No, well, I mean that. But
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, we don't get, the child in the situation, don't have an influence on that attachment style. It's
Yes.
our caregiver to us that
But
brings that to be.
let's also add on this too, because I always have to add this when I'm teaching attachment, is that a lot of parents, now don't get me wrong, some people really do just do terrible things, but a lot of parents don't realize that they are forming their child's attachment by some of their behaviors. Like we said earlier.
We don't teach about this. Like,
Yeah.
even parenting classes. I don't know if they
Or I
teach
think
about attachment.
that sometimes they do teach certain behaviors, like we said, that like we do teach stuff like sometimes of like, tell a child to cry it out, send them
No,
to
but
their
they
room.
literally did teach that. Like back in the day, they said like this is how you sleep train kids. This is how it works. They'll cry it out. They'll get through it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but we see now that some of those behaviors are problematic.
They
So
don't help with a healthy attachment. I would
yes,
just to say that clearly. Like they don't help with a healthy attachment. And that's not to say like if you've done it to your child before, doesn't mean like they're gonna turn out to be like some crazy unattached something. But to know like attachment is we're building on things,
yeah,
and so if that happens, you're not building towards attachment. You're building away from it.
yes. And so basic attachment is need, need met, security enforced, and need.
And we're doing this in little
Yes,
ways all the time.
but the need being met does not always mean that I'm just giving you whatever it is that you want, because that's not me meeting your need, but that is me acknowledging what it is that you're needing. And I feel like that sometimes that's the disconnect, that there are a lot of people who think that if I give in to you, or if I give you what you're asking for, if I give you any sort of attention, that means that I am just influencing this behavior, but I'm also dismissing the need. And that happens in young ages, but we also see it happen in older ages, not only with our relationships, but also within ourselves as well. We do this to ourselves as well, guys. But like Jasmine was saying, we don't get a choice in this. This just happens to us sometimes as kids, and those behaviors form our attachment, and then that shapes our attachment style, which then goes on to shape how we respond in relationships to other behaviors.
To anything and everything. Yeah, and like the way that we see the world, right? Depending on the way that you attach to things is the way that you interpret how the world works for you or doesn't
Yeah,
work for you.
yeah. Or whether or not you see it as safe, whether or not you see yourself as securely, as you see like your other relationships as securely, all these things form into how you attach, how you view others, and what happens. So like we said, if you're oversharing constantly, like needing reassurance, you're acting out, that is a form of either anxious attachment or possibly disorganized attachment.
Just some attachment struggles,
Yes.
right? You know, labels, they work for what they work for. And also, some people aren't into labels, and like either way, that's
Understood.
fine. But just knowing like we all got our own attachment stuff. We all got stuff that, we can work through and improve. And so, yeah, if this sounding like you or like even somebody you're partnered with, there's something there. Because also know, from the opposite side of things, we're talking about anxious attachment. But know that anxious attachment people and avoidant attachment people, they tend to find each other. And there usually is this tug of war of like, if you hear your partner in a lot of this, to know that you're somehow part of the system as well. And there's some ways that you can adjust. So, kind of like we talked about the way we view the world, a good question to ask, or that I can sometimes ask for people, is like, how did your parents respond to you when you wanted to connect with them?
Yeah. But I think that one of the things too is, like I said, is that sometimes it can be inconsistent, which I think that the
Which
inconsistency,
again, that adds to attachment and what your
yes,
attachment will be.
and that adds to the attachment, because that's that feeling of, they said that they loved me, but they said it with a scowl on their face. They said that they loved me, but then they went to their room and they closed the door. So it didn't really feel like love. Or like she provided me with food, but she never gave me a hug. Like this constant feeling of like, I'm not 100% sure how to attach these things. I think this is what love and security looks like, but I'm not 100% sure what love and security looks like. Or let me gauge, is today going to be a good day or is today going to be a bad day? Or I get love whenever I do this. So let me go in there and do my little dance. And now everybody loves me again.
Now do your little dance.
Yes. So now I'm a 30-year-old still out here doing my little dance. Trying to see, do I still get love whenever I do it?
It's the dance.
Let me act out. Let me show out. That's how I receive connection.
And that's just the way that we did it in my family, right? Like
Yes.
whatever it is that's hardwired into us, and then so we go out into the big world, and like when we need stuff, my family, like, we didn't ask for it, right?
But we didn't know how to ask for it.
Yeah, but if we didn't ask for it, how do we show up and do that at work? If I never got that skill, I've never seen people ask for what they need. They just kind of beat around the bush and they kind of say something, or they're passive aggressive. But then when they need something, I don't know how to do that.
And then we have to read in between the lines, which is what also
And
goes into that.
expect people to read. Whew, can we talk about this? Expecting people to read in between our lines. You know, people come in and be like, I shouldn't have to say that. They should know me.
Already know.
They should know me. Well, they've known me for this long. They should know me well enough. Right? And I think that's also where stuff gets a little junked up. It gets a little twisted up. Communication is necessary for this.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever become obsolete despite attachment, right? You still need to communicate.
Yes. I think that's the hard part of, like you said, when sometimes our behaviors are communication, but sometimes we also still need direct words, and we need the behaviors to also match those direct words.
Absolutely.
And that's the hard part. So we have people, whether or not we say in whatever like relationship, well, I'm gonna go to my room and I'm not gonna speak for the rest of the night, and you should just know that means I'm angry, and that I need you to figure out how to fix it without me telling you what's wrong.
Absolutely. But don't you love, like, when you might ask like couples that question of just like, oh, well, how did he know you were upset with that? And I'd be like, I don't know. I didn't talk to him for a week.
Oh my gosh, and that's what we should have did, y'all. There was an episode of Abbott Elementary recently, and oh my gosh, what is her name?
Quinta?
Nope, older teacher.
Oh, Ava. Oh, the older teacher?
Yes,
Okay.
Barbara. Barbara is mad at her husband.
Barbara's
And
always mad at her
yes, she's mad at her husband. She talks to Miss Shementi about it, and they decide together that she should just ignore her husband. And
I remember that.
so she decides that she's just going to.
And then the counselor gets involved.
Yes, and the counselor's like, "Why would you just like tell him what's wrong?" And she's like, "Why would I do that?" So then like she goes back and she like does what the counselor says, and she like tells her
Oh
husband.
my God, it kind of worked.
Yeah, and she's like, there's so many things that I've been holding on to grudges for all these years, and he never even knew existed. But I feel like that we do the same things too sometimes. This is how we know how to connect, but it's not like really a connection. And then we just go on with this.
Yes, it's not direct. It's not actually taking into account how you feel and what you want and what you need. Right? Like we talk about all the time. You need to know what's going on in your system so you can tell other people about it. Like
Yes.
we're missing different pieces so that we can connect. Right? And it's not that people don't want to connect. It's not that people can't connect. Or like something's wrong with them that they're not able to connect. It's that we're missing the pieces there to make connection feel better, feel more
Yeah.
easy, feel safer.
So I feel like, and I say this a lot of times, like me and Jasmine speak in metaphors and like visually, I will tell people that as kids, you're given a toolbox, and all of our toolboxes may have something
We getting a
different.
toolbox? What if you didn't get a toolbox? What if it just didn't come to the house?
Yeah, or you got some sort of toolbox, right?
Empty box. Okay.
But the tools inside of that may not be effective for what you need them to be. But that does not mean that you have not learned over life to use the tools that you were given. So if my entire life I've been putting pictures on the wall with a socket wrench because that was all that was in my toolbox. Do you know how difficult that is?
I would guess you don't have any pictures on the wall because I don't know how you would do that with the socket wrench. But I got you.
I figured it out. So
Okay.
I'm in here doing some weird stuff with the
You can use
socket
it
wrench.
as a hammer. Got it.
Until I'm figuring this out. And then I look over and I see you over there and you got this thing called a hammer and like nails, and I'm like, I didn't get them tools when I was growing up. Now I can keep using my socket wrench.
Right.
Or I could figure out what that is that she
Show
got.
me this new thing, this newfangled thing that you have. Show me how to use that so
Yes.
that I can use that to get the thing that I want.
And here's the hard part about attachment, though. Sometimes I might still pull out my socket wrench.
For sure.
Attachment can switch up in different relationships and different situations. And so my attention seeking behaviors or negative behaviors may still pop out when I'm around certain people. With other people, I may be able to directly communicate and say, hey, I need this. And I think like that's the hard part too. So I think that you brought up a good point of us being able to do self inventory of how do you respond to yourself in these situations when you feel these behaviors and these feelings coming up.
So that's a really good point too. And I think that what you're saying is that it requires, right? There's reasons why we have these skills and or don't have these skills and have these things in our toolboxes. In order for them to change, if changing is the thing that you want to do, we need the environment that is conducive to that change. So we're going to give you like a little bit of tips on how to kind of navigate that, but to know, right? Like if you're in a situation that feels like, oh, this kind of feels ick or this feels familiar, unsafe, you might start to use an old tool from the toolbox, right? A thing that you've worked on and not used for a long time because that's what it is. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong. You just get to go back to your safe space and say, I actually don't even need that tool here, right? Like that's not a big deal. I can be in my safe space and I have to use that tool. Yeah. And you can switch back and forth because that's what tools are for. Use them for what you need them for. And then you don't when you don't need them, right?
But also recognize when your tools are problematic. And that's the hard part. So I think that that's what we're talking about too, of how do you respond with and deal with yourself and how do you intentionally deal with yourself. So like you were saying earlier of being able to know what it is that's going on with you so that you can share it with others. If we don't stop to self-reflect and deal with ourselves, we don't get to that space. So I have to be able to stop in different situations and spend intentional time with myself and notice, what do I need right now? How am I displaying this need right now? Is the behavior that I'm displaying actually matching what it is that I am seeking? There's so many questions in that of what is going on for me? How am I communicating? Am I scared to communicate? What would I be afraid would happen if I did not communicate in the way that I am communicating? So if I don't scream and I don't go off, or if I don't shut down and I don't isolate, what am I scared is going to happen?
That's the internal stuff. And right, like if you're paying attention, you really should pause and like write that down because that's a gem right there. And as we'll continue, the flip side is if somebody in your life is doing some of that kind of stuff and it doesn't make any sense to you, you're not understanding, you want to pull away, it's also a good time for you to self-reflect, right? I know it has to do with them. They're the one getting on your nerves. But whenever somebody's getting on our nerves, it's always our stuff that's showing up too, right? That's like telling us something. So maybe even take a moment to sift through what about what they're doing is something that I don't like. Right? Why does this not work for me? What is it that I actually need them to do based on what I need? Right? How would I have wanted this situation to go? Ideal situation, everybody's doing what they need to do. What did you need that to look like? I wonder if they could meet me in the middle there, right? And I feel like some of that is good for like parents and kids too, because it's like we said, it's easy to just turn that off and be like, they just need attention. They always need too much. I just don't have capacity. Versus being like, what is it they're really trying to ask me?
Yes.
What is it that they're saying without their words? Right? And getting that and understanding how does that go with me? Because, listen, there's some things that we're not saying. We're specifically talking about attention seeking. But when I get around certain people that have maybe different attachment styles or different needs, I can tell in me by the way I feel, whether I want to lean towards them or lean away from them, what's going on with them, because it reflects my stuff, right? Like there's some things that people do that I'm just like, I don't want to be around it because I don't need them, none of that. And that tells me I got something going on.
Yeah.
It's not even, it doesn't really have to do with it.
Yeah.
Truly, it's my stuff of like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't have capacity right now. This is really annoying. All that stuff when maybe the person in front of me just needs me to show up for them.
And that's a good thing to recognize too. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if it's problematic. I feel like that people, especially nowadays, have been using a lot of mental health things to weaponize not being accountable.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
So if someone is doing things like that, someone that you're in relationship with or connection with are doing behaviors like that, and you notice that it shows up in your body, and then you say, I'm protecting my peace by walking away. No, you're not being accountable. You're not dealing with your own stuff. But that's me. Now you can decide to leave that relationship. I understand that. But you could also deal with yourself before we just gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna isolate and I'm not gonna deal with it. But okay.
But that, I think, adds on a layer, and that's not what we're like going deep into today. But I think that does add on a layer because some people are connection seeking. They are looking for that interdependence with people, and some people who are not willing to give it will use some of this stuff to weaponize it against you.
Yes.
Of like, you're just being dramatic. You always need something. You always need this, right? And they're not taking the time to check in with their systems and wonder why that feels like too much. Because much of this stuff is healthy, right?
Yeah.
Much of the stuff is saying, hey, I'm checking in. What's going on with you? You good? And people being like, oh my God, here you go. I didn't do anything. And it'll be like, but I just noticed a thing. And noticing, like, instead of you responding to them and connecting with them, you're like going off, you're having a big response, or you pull away. You always do this. You disappear.
Yeah. You trying to hold me accountable is like way too dramatic. I don't got time for that.
Exactly. And they give it to you when it's really not yours, it's theirs.
It's like, oh, that's not my stuff.
So we can go into that specifically at another time.
Let's also talk about so how do you communicate with people that you are in relationship with, on how do you, instead of saying things like you're doing too much or you're being too dramatic, about like possibly saying things of like, hey, I'm noticing this.
Maybe don't do that.
That's
all
me.
of this.
I'm noticing all of this.
You need to do something with all of this.
And but yes, asking questions like, what's going on for you right now? I'm gonna ask the question like, do you need me to reassure you? Do you need me to be close to you? You just want me to sit here? Like, but there is a level of that where I'm putting it back on you. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to overtell you how you feel or explain how you feel. I'm asking you, what do you need from me?
Yes, because that also is a good thing too. For someone to help you find the words can be very helpful. That is not necessarily everybody's journey or everybody's job, but it can be really helpful if you struggle with that, to have a partner to say, well, take a minute to think about what you need, right? Like, I'm trying to show up. I'm trying to do all these things. I did everything you asked me to do, and it's still not good enough. Maybe it's you, and it's not me. And so think about what you need. That can be super helpful for people.
Yeah. And also just accepting when someone says, you know what, I really don't even know what it is that I need. I just know that it feels icky. And like that sometimes is a thing. Like I will say all the time, I don't have words or solution.
Yeah.
But I just want you to sit here.
That's it. Just be stationary. But I think what we're saying that we haven't said is like, this is requiring some slowness. There's a quickness that happens in misunderstanding people and misinterpreting people and missing people that happens really quick. And the solution is move slower.
Yeah.
Which that is to say, what's going on with you? Check in.
And there's also a
What's
level
happening?
of compassion in that as well too. To know that, like I said earlier, we all need connection. We all display it in different ways. It shows up in different ways. How are you seeking connection with someone instead of passing judgment or being aggressive or whatever it may be? How do you ask people to invite you in to understand them so that you actually can be that, so you actually can understand?
Yeah. Move slow. Be compassionate.
Stay curious.
And be there, right? Like a big part of we talk about a lot is like a container space. Of the space that helps people grow and get better at this is you being able to be fully there.
Yeah.
And it requires energy. There's no way around that. It requires like all of you and all of yourself. And that is hard. It's energetic. It requires something from you. So remembering that, like, that's what you do to create the space, is to show up that way.
And another one that I want to make sure that I highlight is that connection does not always mean that you're rescuing someone or that you get to come in and like play the hero and make everything okay.
I feel like that it's really exactly the opposite of that, right? That
Yes.
isn't connection, even though it can feel like a substitute.
Yes, but I feel like that there are individuals sometimes who want to come in and fix. Of like, let me like make this better. And
Individuals or, you know, therapists. Because
both.
that's our,
Both.
we struggle.
But it's the whole idea of like that's not proper attunement. Me actually attuning with you and asking you questions and trying to sit with you in it is not me coming in and trying to just overhaul and fix it so I can feel better.
Or so that I can make you feel better. Because what's underneath that too is like, I don't like your emotions. I don't want you to be sad right now. I don't want you to be upset. I don't want this to be the 5th time today that you're breaking down in tears and that's too much for me. I'm going to fix it and then we can be done and through this. Right? And that, again, even though that has good intentions, that doesn't mean that is good or teaching people how to have healthy attachment.
And it's also missing the point. We're doing something for a quick fix. We see this all the time when it's like the kid is crying and we're gonna go get him a Happy Meal. The wife is upset.
I want a Happy Meal, but okay.
The wife is upset and clearly she needs new jewelry, or sex or something like that.
Clearly she needs new jewelry.
Oh my gosh, they're crying. Make it stop. Get the kid a Happy Meal. And then we do that. One of my clients told me the other day that whenever they have issues, it's literally food, and she's an adult. They feed her. Like they just take her some. Oh, she's
It's
upset.
definitely a thing that we do with kids, but there's no reason for that not to be the case for adults too. It's definitely a thing.
They're hungry. Let's go get them some food. Which, hey, yes, that will distract me, but that does not fix
But we're still missing each other there because the thing that they need is connection. The thing that they're looking for is connection. Even if they don't say that, even if they don't acknowledge it, that's the thing we all need.
Yeah.
Right? That's the case because that's the thing we all need. We all need connection.
We all need to be seen. We all need
Fully.
to be soothed. We all need to be understood, which is all part of connection.
All of that.
What I need from you is understanding. Okay. Sorry.
I can tell you that's not what I need right now. So I need a Happy Meal. So can I go find a Happy Meal that and I don't know, we went through a lot of stuff that are nuanced, but like please know that this is a very much larger conversation. We hit all the hot spots of attention seeking, but this is nowhere near everything. So if you get in here and maybe you're trying to live out this life and you get in here and you're like, okay, I tried this, but like y'all, I'm missing something. Something's not working. Hit us. Talk to us. Talk to us in the comments. The point is not for us to come fix all your problems, but for us to keep having this conversation because we learn and we grow and there's more to do here, even for us.
Yes. And as always, we're here trying to stay mentally dope.
Take care of yourselves, y'all.
Okay. I can't.